To our Wednesday meditation service. I'm going to read the word for today. The wisdom of indwelling spirit lights my path. When I enter a darkened room and flip a light switch, the light touches every corner of the room. I am now able to see clearly, find my way, and discern one item from another. I respond to the light of divine inspiration, acting upon my ideas, dreams, and intuition with confidence. I see myself co-creating with Spirit and trust the ideas that come to me during time spent in prayer. I give thanks for the let there be light moments in my life, and I welcome every opportunity to bring divine light to all I create. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Genesis 1:3. So we're going to be doing a call and response. And this is just a beautiful chant. From the point of light within, within the mind of God, let light shine forth. In the minds of all, let light descend on earth. From the point of love within, within the mind of God, let light shine forth. In the hearts of all, let love descend on earth. From the center where the will of God is known. Let purpose guide. The wills of all. The purpose that the masters know and serve. From the center which I call, I call the state of love. Let the plan of love and light light work out. Let the plan of love and light work out. From the point of light within, within the mind of God, let light stream forth. To the minds of all, let light descend on earth. From the point of love within, within the heart of God, let love stream forth. To the hearts of all, let love descend on earth. From the center where the will of God is known. Let purpose guide. The wills of all. The purpose that the masters know and serve. And may it seal the door where darkness dwells. Let love and light and peace restore the plan on earth.
Good evening, everyone. Let us begin this evening with this legendary story. Long ago, an Eastern monarch, plagued by travesty and worries on every side, called his wise men together. He asked them to invent a motto, a few words that would help him in time of trial or distress. It must be brief enough to be engraved on a ring, he said, so that he could have it always before his eyes. It must be appropriate to every situation, as useful in prosperity as in adversity. It must be a motto wise and true and endlessly enduring. The wise men thought and finally came to the monarch with these magic words. They were words for every change or chance of fortune. Declared the wise men, these words are the words that will bring you the peace that you are seeking, to fit every situation, good or bad, words to ease the heart and mind in all circumstances. The words they gave the monarch to engrave on his ring were, "This too shall pass away. This too shall pass away." Certainly, that is a very excellent idea. And it must be excellent because it has lived down through the ages. No one knows if it was actually created by wise men for a monarch, but for centuries, people have taken these words to heart and used them in their lives to deal with conditions and circumstances that were challenging to them. And we can consider them to be words that will ultimately help us get through difficult conditions and circumstances. However, they are not as powerful as the teachings that are given to us to transcend the limitations human beings experience from our Creator. Down through the ages, the masters of life who have taken to task their own awareness have recognized there is a way to transcend the limitations, concerns, the fears, the anxieties that human beings are heir to. And we will just begin to reveal this again from the book of Psalms. This is the 91st Psalm. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High, who abides in the presence of the Almighty, will know, this is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. For he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness is a shield and a buckler. You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the destruction raging in the world. Well, it's natural for people in this very mental, intellectual society to reject such psalms and spiritual teachings on the grounds that they are simply too fanciful. I mean, the scriptures speak about miracles and things that they can't really grasp from a rational perspective. For the people raised in the world, especially in this Western society, are raised from a rational perspective on what would seem to be a rational foundation in their pursuit of life and truth. But the perception in our world is obviously flawed. What we are taught in school, even as we go on to college, the university, and even beyond that, does not suffice to bring healing, happiness, health, and peace to the people in the world. That in itself should be enough to have us seeking beyond the rational thinking of the world. And therefore, we should at least begin to experiment with faith, which is where we have to go in order to step beyond the limited thinking that holds us in limitation in our own lives, in the world. So we must begin to move in faith and practice the presence of something that we cannot see, we cannot touch really, but we can feel the presence. But in order to feel the presence, we have to relax, we have to release the incessant thinking of the mind. That is what our challenge is on the spiritual journey. Because the entire world outside is founded on the illusion of rational thinking, which is, even at this point, is so irrational, it's hard to even believe that people are embracing it in an attempt to find happiness and peace in life. Because it is totally irrational, and the amount of conflict, fear, concern, hatred, and war that continues in the world outside of us should be indication enough that rational thinking isn't going to free us from the suffering of human experience. That's what it is all about. Human experience, in its limited perception, is, as the Buddha said, suffering. It is suffering. And so it's only natural for us to want to find a way to transcend the suffering of human experience. And that is why people finally join some type of spiritual practice, some spiritual journey, because they have found the thinking of the world flawed, the thinking of the world wanting, limited. And so we are here tonight seeking the same truth that has been shared with us down through the ages. The masters have shared it down through the ages. And it has been written down for us in many, many ways. And recently, it has been written down for us in A Course in Miracles. So, this is what we are in the process of understanding. You can read this in the Course in Miracles text, the old text, page 533, paragraphs 2 and 3. In quietness are all things answered, and is every problem quietly resolved. In conflict, there can be no answer and no resolution, for its purpose is to make no resolution possible, and to ensure no answer will be plain. A problem set in conflict has no answer, for it is seen in different ways, and what would be an answer from one point of view is not an answer from another point of view. You are in conflict. Thus it must be clear you cannot answer anything at all. For conflict has no limited effects. Yet, if God gave an answer, there must be a way in which your problems are resolved. For what He wills already has been done. Thus, it must be that time is not involved in every problem, and every problem can be answered now. Yet it must also be that in your state of mind, solution is impossible. Therefore, God must have given you a way of reaching to another state of mind, in which the answer is already there. Such is the holy instant. It is here that your problems should be brought and left. Here they belong, for here their answer is. Have you ever recognized someone who's living in a serene state of awareness? Many, many years ago, I did a series on perception. And I brought up things like when you see a young person, maybe 11 or 12 years old back then, maybe I should take it back now to 8 or 9. When you see them in their presence, you recognize a certain peace in their eyes. They're not bedazzled yet. They're not boggled yet by the thinking of the world and the troubles of the world. But sometimes you will notice someone, and it can be someone of any age, who has this serenity in their eyes, in their face, and in their countenance. You see them operating in almost a different state of being, which it actually is. A different state of being. The conditions and circumstances surrounding their life is not like those who are still in and of the world. Those who are in and of the world have running through their minds all the time the conditions and circumstances of the world, and what's happening to me, and what's happening around me, and what's happening over there in the Ukraine, and what's happening here. But you see, all of that is conflict. It's simply conflict. So people that are always in conflict create stress. And that stress creates all manner of dis-ease in the mind for a while, and then if it continues in the body. And then they have to take medications, and then they have to go through all kinds of things to heal themselves of what is really being caused by their thinking, their incessant, ongoing, conflicted thinking. I remember reading an article about those doctors that were trying to figure out how to heal ulcers. Why do people have ulcers and how to heal them? And this one doctor had dogs that he used in his laboratory to research ulcers. And he finally said to his comrades that were involved in this research, "We can't use dogs." And he said, because there's no way to stress a dog out. There just is no way to make them anxious. You can put or inflict on them ulcers physically. But if you leave them alone, they will just simply not be involved in it, and it will pass away, and their bodies will no longer relate ulcers. They simply are not connected to the kind of stress that human beings are connected to. Dogs don't have stress, and you'll see this too. Dogs are amazing teachers, because you can see a dog and you can become angry with him, and some people very angry and not nice. But that dog, a few minutes later, will just accept that person, unless that person has been abusing that dog for a long time. Then a dog will finally turn on that person. But it's an interesting thing that this was an experiment. And so we have to be self-imposing our own stress. And what this whole concept of entering this secret place of the Most High is, this is real. How far away you may have been and how far away you feel from ever being able to enter a state of refined awareness and peace, regardless of circumstances, how far away you feel you are from that is by determination that you are still not totally connected to the truth that we are practicing. This is not a fanciful thing like, this too shall pass away. Okay, I'll get through the day. It'll pass away. I'll get through This is not what the masters are talking about. They're talking about a transformation in consciousness where you're able to sit back, be still, be quiet, enter in through a process of meditation in which you leave the thinking of the world. Do you honestly believe that? Because to the degree that you do not believe that, you will hold yourself apart from the experience they are alluding to. So once again, I'm going to read this because it's talking about the entire aspect of human experience. In quietness are all things answered, and is every problem quietly resolved. In conflict, there can be no answer and no resolution, for its purpose is to make no resolution possible, and to ensure no answer will be plain. A problem set in conflict has no answer, for it is seen in different ways, and what would be an answer from one point of view is not an answer from another point of view. You are in conflict. Thus it must be clear you cannot answer anything at all, for conflict has no limited effects. Yet if God gave an answer, there must be a way in which your problems are resolved, for what He wills already has been done. Thus it must be that time is not involved and every problem can be answered now. Yet it must also be in the state of mind, your state of mind, solution is impossible. Therefore, God must have given you a way of reaching to another state of mind in which the answer is already there. Such is the holy instant. It is here that all your problems should be brought and left. Here they belong, for here their answer is. Such is the holy instant. And of course, the Course will go on to say, the holy instant is this instant and every instant. The one you want it to be, it is. The one you would not have it be is lost to you. Beyond the past and future, where you will not find it, it stands in shimmering readiness in this present moment. It's interesting how difficult the thinking of the world has made it for human beings to live a life of peace and joy, wisdom, and blessing. But it is the thinking that has been built through the media. And of course, that thinking is all based upon manipulation, deception, and a lack of human conscience. So here we have it. Why do we meditate? Because in meditation we withdraw from the thinking of the world. And while the entire world may go on the way it's going on, we will no longer be part of it. It will no longer have an effect upon us when we are able to transcend our allegiance to it. When we are ready and willing to surrender our allegiance to the way the world thinks, placing money at the top of the list of things to worship, and then personal popularity and power, and all the things that go down in this illusionary idea of life. When we are ready to surrender our allegiance to the idea that this is the way life works best, when we give it up and we do seriously practice being quiet and still, and for possibly the first time, being okay with ourselves. To be okay with yourself is the practice of the presence of God. Because we're never really okay according to the media. There's always something missing, wrong, and needed. That's advertised on television, it's on the radio, it's on the airways, it's in the computer. Something's always wrong, missing, needed. You need it, have to have it. Now, would this be a complete fallacy if we didn't have occasion to have people like Eckhart Tolle build an entire philosophy, an entire spiritual philosophy, I mean book after book, explaining the spiritual transformation that comes with entering into the now moment. Just being alive and aware in the now moment. In the secret moment, where the only moment that has reality. All the past that went on that we are still clinging to and trying to get over, and all the future that we're aligning ourselves with, we've got to fix and make better. Let it go, just to be okay, just as you are, right here, right now, appropriate to what is here. Let's listen to, this is the Master's words from Stillness Speaks. To have your attention in the now is not a denial of what is needed in your life. It is recognizing what is primary. Then you can deal with what is secondary with great ease. It is not saying, I am not dealing with things anymore because there is only the now. No, Find what is primary first, and make the now into your friend, not your enemy. Acknowledge it, honor it. When the now is the foundation and primary focus of your life, then your life unfolds with ease. You see, down through the ages, they show up. All the way back when they were writing Psalms, telling the stories about human dilemma and how to transcend human dilemma. And now we have, masters like Eckhart Tolle, Deepak Chopra. We had Wayne Dyer, who just recently took leave of his body. But we've always had these teachers. And Eckhart Tolle is actually, he's taken the whole thing and he's focused it so clearly for us to embrace and practice. Being present. Just practice being present. The only thing that takes us out of the presence is the ego-centered idea of self. And all the things that self must need in order to finally be okay. You need to have that beautiful new car. You need to have more money. So keep that on your mind, how you can get more money. You need to have this or that, or you need to find that soulmate that's going to make your life work. All these things that are out there, and some of it, you can't even imagine. Some of it, right here in this new paradigm that we are embracing. So many people still trying to get free in the prison of the thinking of the world. You have to step away from it. So we're going to step away from the thinking of the world again tonight. We do this through the process of being still and quiet. We're going to listen to the crystal bowl and its beautiful sound. And we're going to allow ourselves, to the best of our ability, to just be listening to the crystal bowl. And then, when we get to a place of silence, we want to just give the mind direction to the secret awareness of being okay. We want to give the mind direction to the secret awareness. I say secret because it's not taught in the thinking of the world. They're not taught in our schools. Our children don't grow up being taught how to be quiet and have meditation periods. We don't grow up with that. But so it's still a secret to enter into the whole awareness of being okay. So when we get to that quiet place, we give this mantra instruction to the mind. Be still and know that there is only God. Be still and know the peace of knowing God in the here and the now. Be still and know that there is only God. Be still and know the peace of knowing there is God in the here and now. In this refined level of awareness, we will offer the names of those that have been submitted to our prayer list. As Norma calls the name, just let the thought, "You are whole," go out to that name.
Kelly Amon, Faye Russell, Valerie Stewart, Betty Barford, Cooper, Florence, Rebecca, Sam Satum Barino, Rob, Becca, Jay Spirrell, Kara Wertheimer, Dean, Rick, Sandy Chamberlain, Ukraine, Sarasota, Florida, Grace, Steve Hayes and family, Steve Taylor, Brandy Gamblin, Brittany and Luther, Jeremy Seal, Jason Seal, Tania Marie, Michael Spahn, Jean and Son, Joan Martin, Sydney Brown, Tyler Brown, Tasha Brown, Alan Gutman, Sheila Gutman, David Gutman, our children everywhere, people of Ukraine, Paul D., Kate Vitrami, and family, everyone involved in Ukraine's situation. Air, water, earth, all life on planet Earth. You can call out a name at this time if you would like to. Shad. Tea time. You see this healing light surrounding the prayer box and all the people's names that have been submitted. We see them healed physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Let us enter a vision for a few moments of this refined awareness of the presence, entering the consciousness of everyone sharing this Boulder community with us. And this healing awareness entering the hearts and minds of everyone sharing the state of Colorado with us. And this divine awareness spreading to all the human beings sharing these United States of America with us. And moving into the consciousness of everyone in every nation, in every culture throughout the world, recognizing the presence, that divine love that heals by allowing the joy and peace of kindness and service to prevail. And we see this taking place in the relationships of human beings and all the creatures on the planet, all the marine life and all the creatures in all the forests and the deserts and the mountains. We see they're becoming a new earth, and the awareness of the presence of God prevailing as the priority in all personal endeavors. As we pray, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and God is love. To this we say, Amen. We will take an offering for unity now. And for those of you that are watching online, you can scroll down to that button that says donate and see the different ways you can donate to Unity of Boulder. And I would ask all of you that are online, we certainly have a lot more people watching online because we won, again, the best place to worship. And so a lot of you really believe that's true. But watching it online and donating to sustain it are two different things. So I'm asking you to give in recognition that this is the spiritual food that you love and you believe is the way to the divine awareness. So we need you. Unity of Boulder needs you in order to sustain what we do here. And so let us all bring to mind that financial gift we'd like to make to Unity of Boulder. And let's bless it with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. So it is. Join me now, please. Are you going to bring that down?
Have to.
Join me now, please. We dedicate this tithe to the will and the work of the Spirit of truth, the Spirit available to each of us, the Spirit that joins all of us. We dedicate this tithe to the victory of the Spirit of truth. Amen. the most important thing taking place on Thursday in the life of anyone that can carry a tune is the choir that is meeting on Thursday evening.
It's 6:30, and the people that are coming, we are so close and friendly, and we're developing a repertoire of music that we can perform eventually on Sunday, leading the congregation to sing with us, and then we'll be starting Thanksgiving music and Christmas music. But the whole thing is to become a unit of friendship and fun and enjoying what we're doing coming together. So we hope to see more people showing up, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you.
We have a range of incredible music that's going to be shared over these days, these weeks, during the holiday season. So you will rejoice just in participating in that choir. Sunday again, we'll have the 9 a.m. service with myself and Norma, and Santisha will have the 11 o'clock. To everyone, we have tea and cookies for those of you who'd like to stay and chat through these doors to your left into the bookstore. And to everyone, good night.